Or you feel like being a lion so that you can kill all the enemies of the Nigerian. Is it the excitement of the new position or what?
I don't think I don't know him by his I don't know his antecedent. You are talking about Egbetokun, the new acting IG. He have not even yet been confirmed until his name is forwarded to National Assembly for screening and confirmation before he will be sworn in as the substantive IG. But the statement credited to him, it's difficult to assess him based on the statement because I don't know his antecedent in the past.
And being that, of course, he's still acting, why should he make such a statement? He want to devour all the enemies. Uh, did he have some particular people in mind? Or should that be his main priority at this time, if actually is confirmed?
I think it's a way of trying to tell the world or the country his readiness and willingness to combat crime. I think it's just a symbolic figure of speech, rather, not that he's a way of trying to prove that he's ready for the job.
Even in a democratic setting, even the perceived criminals, alleged criminals, shouldn't be given the opportunity to defend themselves. Why should you go ahead agog with the so-called perceived criminals of Nigeria? Perhaps this might be Nigerian citizens who you might be having a wrong perception about, of course, whatever you think is going wrong. Is that the best way to address the masses? It seems is coming from, of course, the lineage of dictatorial rulers.
I think it's a signal, a warning signal to the criminals to turn good leaf. And I think it's a way of trying to express his disposition, his readiness to combat crime. So I don't think it's in any way trying to suggest that he want to be a dictator or he want to, as the law says, that one is innocent until proven otherwise by a court of competent jurisdiction. I don't think it's in a way of trying to call suspects criminal before they are convicted. I think it's a way of trying to show that he's ready to combat crime.
Must you behave like a tiger before you do what is needful? Or before you are perceived or seen to be fighting against combating crime? Isn't that a reckless speech? And mind you, I think he should have understood that there are no, many problems surrounding the police commission, of which he should have throw more weight on seeing how to redeem the image, the public image of the police officer in Nigeria, rather than diverting his attention to what is not existing.
I think this should also do with some sanctioning police officers rest within the purview of the Police Service Commission. And even the IG himself is somebody that can be, though he report directly to the president, but when it comes to disciplining police officers, sanctioning them, it is Police Service Commission that has that mandate. That notwithstanding, as the IG, he has some level of authority over the police personnel. But what I'm trying to say in essence is, I do not, because if you see lion as an animal, lion is seen as the king of the jungle, the king of animal kingdom.
Where there are no rules and laws and regulations, where people rights are not respected. Is that what he meant? He wants to introduce to Nigeria that he will throw those parts without having any recourse, of course, to the rule of law.
That is not what he's trying to mean. What he's trying to say is that because lion can exercise authority, supremacy over other animals, he's trying to say that he have what it takes to exercise that authority, supremacy over criminals. Don't forget that as a country, as a nation, the country is supposed to have a monopoly of coercive power. I think it's that area where you have overbearing influence against criminals. I think that authority is what he's trying to emphasize on.
I don't think that is intending with the provisions of the law that protects fundamental rights of the people. Every average Nigerian citizen has the right, of course, to life and expression. So, is it trying to intimidate or gag people from expressing themselves, or I don't know? Possibly, he has some perceived enemies. He has been, of course, engaged to fight.
There is no law that guarantee or that gives anyone leverage to be a criminal. And where one's right stops is where another person's right begins. So, as a man at the helm of affairs of the police authority, it behoves on him to protect life and property, knowing that he's doing that on behalf of the president, because the president is the commander, is the president and the commander of the armed forces. And we all know that police is saddled with the responsibility of internal security arrangement of the country. So I don't see anything wrong in his speech where he said he feel like a tiger, ready to devour criminals.
Even as a IG of police, that doesn't make him above the law. If there should be any reason to arraign somebody, of course, he must observe the process of litigation, summon the person to the court, and if he's been indicted or convicted by any competent court of law, then that is when the law will have its full weight. So not just him taking, I mean, trying to get it done by himself without having a recourse to the provision of the law. Do you think that that will augur well? And being that others possibly may have tried that, but in the course of time, they were swallowed up by corruption and they lost their voice. Do you think that that could be possible with him?
He have not said he's going to trample on people's rights or he's going to get involved in extrajudicial activities. He have not said that, and I think and I believe, as a police personnel who have rose through the ranks to that position, knows the implication of all that. But I don't think he's showing that line. But what is clear is that as the IG, it behoves on him to protect lives and property as a strength in the constitution.
What should be his reaction to the agitators? Are they part of the perceived criminals? Those who are expressing their fundamental rights to self-determination, to decide their political affiliation and future. Should they be considered as criminals or perceived criminals, as he said?
I think the concern of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is very clear, unambiguous, that as Nigerians, we have right to peaceful protest, and that Nigeria is equally a signatory to a UN charter that talks about self-determination. So to that extent, I think the IG is well informed to know the position of the law regarding agitation. And if in the event of agitating, anyone crosses the line and runs foul of the constitution, as such person should be charged according to the extant laws. But agitation itself does not amount to criminality. I know and I believe the IG will understand it as such.
It seems you are holding brief for him. What do you mean by crossing the line of agitation?
What I mean the crossing of a line of agitation, you agitate in the course of agitation and you happen to go offensive and violent and attack somebody. That person reserve right to seek redress, and the police is the police is the prosecuting agency that normally should investigate and charge cases to court. So when issues of that nature arise, I think the police reserve the right to investigate and charge such case to court.
But we've seen cases where people, of course, in the course of protesting with placards and just mere songs, and they were attacked rather than being protected by the police. The police become offensive rather than of trying to guide the process so that there won't be breakdown of law and order. Do you see that repeating? But from this statement, it seems it's towing the path of violence. I must devour, I must kill, I must do that. A way of intimidating the masses psychologically is passing some message that is not well welcomed or that doesn't go down with the masses. What is your reaction?
The thing is clear. If any police officer in the event of his duty violates the law I think the law is there to discipline him. I made mention of police service commission before now. We have seen instances in the past, even currently, where police personnel will be court-martialed, tried, at times dismissed, charged to court. So I think there are concerned authorities to deal with errant officers.
Beside above looking for out for erring officers, don't you think there should be reform, and the welfare of the police officers should be well taken care of to avoid this overboard, because sometimes it's a reflection of psychological upheaval. When they are not psychologically balanced, they tend to, of course, drift from the ethics of their and codes of conduct of their oppression. Don't you think that there should be a need to revisit the welfare package, and of course retraining of the police force in this time?
Reform is a continuous process. You cannot, at any point in time, you deem it necessary to reform, you can carry out reform. Don't forget that during the NSAS, part of the major reasons they embarked on that protest was to ask government to reform the police force, and particularly to improve on the welfare of the police personnel. So reform is a continual process. At any point in time it's deemed necessary, it's a welcome development.
You made mention of the NSAS saga that culminated in the worst uh, uh, deadly experience where Nigerians were killed in the broad daylight, and yet the culprits have not been brought to book, and the government is not taking responsibility. Now, one of the agitation or requests of those young guys who are craving for good governance and an end to brutality is the reform in the welfare package of the police force. But ever since that, that have not nothing have changed. So, do you think there is any commitment uh, by this government to revisit such?
This government have not made any taken any action in that regard, and I think it's too premature to start extrapolating whether this government will take any action in that regard. I think it's only wise and considerable that we give them some good time to see whether it's thing they want to consider worthwhile, and I think it's something they should consider worthwhile.
What may be your message to the acting IG of police, to Nigerians?
I think the message is clear that he should allow the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be his guideline in carrying out his responsibilities and his duties. He should not allow um, personal interest to override the Constitution. He should know that everybody is equal before the law, irrespective of the status, irrespective of whoever is involved. He should know that the Constitution should be respected and everybody is equal before the law. I think that is the word to leave for the IG.
Okay, I hope IG should be listening to this candid advice from one of the concerned national activists. Do appreciate you for your time. Do have a great day until we meet again.